introduced to Akua and Jerry, formerly Deborah Johnson, Black Panther Party leader in Chicago, and I found out that 18 years after they murdered Fred Hampton on December 4th, 1969, that the police had captured Fred Hampton's son. I found this out in 1992. I learned in Chicago about the importance of who Fred Hampton Sr. was and who Fred Hampton Jr. is, all in about 6 months. And in that time, I became the chairman of the International Campaign to Free Fred Hampton Jr. And I went on what I call a tour through the prisons because Fred Hampton Jr. was on tour. He was in Big Muddy Rivers and he was in Thames. He was in Stateville, which was called Deathville. And everywhere he would go, they would have to move him because he would be organizing other brothers around our rights. He would be creating what was called the Prisoners of Conscious Communique because it's illegal for so-called inmates. I don't even know how to use that word. It's for our brothers and sisters who are behind enemy lines to communicate with each other in other institutions. So he would create what's called the Prisoners of Conscious Communique, and I would take that communique, and I would go to different prisons and pass them out the words of Fred Hampton Jr. because I knew that where we are, that our warriors are behind enemy lines. So we would talk about how important it is that the music reflects what's going on inside, and what's happening on the inside reflects what's going on outside. This is the reciprocal relationship that prison has on music and music has inside on our prisons, our own prison. You know, what's amazing today is that this has culminated into an amazing phenomenon. There's a campaign that my comrade Rosa Clemente recently put forward. It's called "It's Bigger Than Rick Ross," and I got to bring this up right now. And I want to champion my sister because we were victorious around this. A lot of us have talked about it. And happy birthday to you as well. But I want to say that, this is important in this conversation. Why? Because this person who took on this identity, who used to be a CO in a prison.
Come on now, come on.
Has taken on a prison identity outside. Now mind you, the brothers and sisters behind enemy lines don't respect that. If you hear me clearly, when I go, they say, we recognize the revolutionary work. We see Just Jimmy Acts. We salute that. They're not saluting Rick Ross. So how does this phenomenon happen? How does a CO in a prison turn out to be the biggest dope rapper, right? Okay. But not only that, is his voice endorsed enough that he can attack our women the way he does and the world unites with him? This has to be bigger than hip-hop music. You know what I mean? So, the phenomenon is incredible when you think about it. You know, the effect of music about what's going on inside prison has produced this guy who is attacking us like we've never seen an attack before. Now, I don't blame it just on Rick Ross. We just have to use this example. Why? Because our women have been being attacked for years and years and years, and we have sat down. A lot of us has just ignored it and said, we'll make revolutionary music. But Rosa Clemente said, enough is enough, and made a statement about how I and black men should stand up and defend our women. And I want to applaud you for that. And so we got to turn out that relationship. We have to turn out the relationship that has said that this is what's coming from inside, from behind enemy lines. It was the courageousness that Rosa put forth that made me go to the brothers and sisters in Miami, Florida, my young G's, my 19-year-old brothers beside me and say, did you hear what that brother said? You have 6 sisters. Are you going to be okay with it? And you know what we ended up doing is coming to a new conclusion. Because for a lot of young people, they hadn't thought about how serious it could be that one of our sisters could be drugged, raped, attacked, verbally or physically, and nobody does anything about it. So when I was able to see this 19-year-old brother say, hold up, this ain't right. I'm making a song about it today. So I went from Miami to North Carolina and I talked to another rapper and said, do you know that what happened to another 19-year-old rapper and said, do you know that this is happening? And mind you, I don't know where our heads are because, you know, they're not clear on the lyrics that Rick Ross is saying. So when I'm introducing it, I'm late to the game. I don't even know the song. They're supposed to know the songs. But I'm saying this lyric happened and like, no, are you serious? He's really talking about this? And so I just got to say, in support of my sisters and our sisters, we have a job to do. We have a job to do, and sometimes it's about me making a song, but a lot of times it's about us talking to each other and creating a real and genuine movement that's going to do more than one song can do, that can make a ripple bigger, that can help communities talk to one another about what the problems really are. Because I think that's what the real thing is. One song is cool, and people can make a song that goes against what people are saying, but if we get to talking about it in our community, you know, now when I go into the studios in Miami, artists are saying, oh, I ain't going to say that on the track because did you hear about what happened in Ross? So we're changing our communication. With this conversation that we've had, which has forced this kind of insincere apology to our sisters, because damn it was insincere, the apology that he gave. But it has changed the conversation that goes on in the writing of the raps in the studios around America and around the world. That's a victory. So, that's a victory. That's a victory. Look, as an organizer, I found that where we stand today, we can't be standing here tomorrow. It's not good enough. You know, it's just not good enough. You know, we have to see our future bigger than where we are today. We have to. You know, I thought I was going to come up here and talk about some of the work that I've done throughout the years. It's so not important. It's about where we go from here. Where do we go from here? Why do our organizations have to be in separate directions? Why do we have so many organizations doing the same work but going in separate directions? Why? Like serious question. Yeah. I have this conversation with my brothers and sisters around, and we all doing the same work, but we're going in different directions. You know, I'm happy that I can be here, the Students Against Mass Incarceration Conference, and we can actually talk about it. And what it does, because 1 year ago, I'm watching Johanna Fernandez, Dr. Johanna Fernandez, who organized me here in D.C. around almost 1 year ago, correct?
Right. Yep. April 24th.
April 24th. Happy birthday to Mia. And so, what was so important about what happened last year was that I saw so many organizations who decided that we're going to do the same thing on the same day. I developed relationships with some of those people who have continued until now. Because we decided that aside from your organization or what your mission statement is or what your ideology is, that we can come together and we understand that not only when Mia being in prison is wrong, not only should he not be there, but the call to free all of our brothers and sisters should be on now, right now. All of them. When I say what's the call, free them all, it's real. We say, what's the call? Free them all. It means not only Mumia, Abu Jamal, and Mutulu, it means all of our brothers and sisters and our mothers. You know, I started out the crack in the system, or the cracks in the system happening mainly because of my personal life. When I was 15 years old, my mother was drug away to prison because of conspiracy. Let me see, what was it called? It was Janet Reno's mandatory minimum sentencing around crack cocaine. So I was 15 years old, and I woke up to a newspaper article. Pardon me, I wasn't 15 years old. I was 17 years old, and I woke up to a newspaper article that said my mom, I'm looking at in the paper, that my mom, that the police had kicked in the door and found $500,000 worth of crack in a box in my mom's apartment. At that time, I'm living in Tallahassee, Florida. So I immediately took a train to North Carolina, and I went on my mom's behalf, and I got a lawyer, and we began to fight for a case, and I began to understand what the system is made of. How could someone who, for all intents and purposes, has never committed a crime in her life, how could this system call her a criminal? How could, is it at a point where they're taking the mamas out of the community? Is it, and this, at this point, at 17 years old, this was a huge blow to me. I hadn't done a bunch of community work, or, I wasn't trying to be a revolutionary. I didn't even know what I was trying to be. But when this problem came on my doorstep, and I was confronted with it, I said, either we're going to fix this system the way it is, or we're going to start again. And this is what kind of motivated me, inspired me to become who I've been today. It pointed me to the answer. It said that if something is wrong, we're going to either find the answer or we're going to die trying. And this was the beginning of my revolutionary search. I started not only visiting my mom in prison, but other women in prison who would give me notes to take to their sons, notes to take to their men, and their fathers. And this was my first relationship. For the first 6 years, my mom was so ashamed of being in prison that she refused to write me or contact me or allow me to know where she was. This is that now imagine, under Janet Reno's mandatory minimum sentencing law, she got 14 years because a snitch said this is her package, this is her cocaine. For me, the cracks became more evident than ever in the state. The cracks became more evident when I started studying the differences in sentences between what's happening in the black community with what's happening in other communities around the world. Around the United States. I said, we have a tremendous problem here. And this is when I began to organize. So, and I want to say that a lot of times we don't regard what's happening to women in a real meaningful way. The attack on the women in our community leaves the backbone of our community totally unguarded. Totally unguarded. Real talk. And we a lot of times we talk about incarceration numbers, but we don't talk about women's numbers that are right now at an alarming rate. I'm pretty sure all of you know the numbers now increasing, doubling in these times. And I think a lot of times are left out of this equation. So when we're talking about freedom all, we got to talk about our brothers and our sisters. Our brothers and our sisters as it's related. So unfortunately now my mom's out of prison. She helps me do this work. She helps me do this work. So I really want to applaud each and every one of you for being here and doing the work that you're doing. A lot of what I do is concentrated inside revolutionary culture. I call it revolutionary culture because we are cultural workers. We're not rappers. We are artists, but you know, we are at a service to our movement. You know, we have decided to take the sacrifice to talk about what's happening inside our movement in a way that will allow us to have the discussion even in our musical space. A lot of times the musical space is devoid of this conversation. I mean, there's times when we want to just sing and dance and forget about the world. But I really got to applaud the artists who take the sacrifice for social justice, who talk about social justice. And a lot of my favorite MCs, even though they don't call themselves revolutionaries, do just that. My favorite artists will talk about the world as we see it. And then some of you might not even regard them as like revolutionary rappers. Like, you know, yes, Tupac did it, but so can I listen to the lyrics of Scarface and hear a reflection of our community. A lot of people leave these artists out of the picture. Right. And a lot of times, there are people like Just Siri X, but then there are artists who sometimes take a stand. And we as a community have to know when to applaud that. Right. A lot of times we say, oh, they're not with us, and even if they made one song, they're not. No, that's good enough. That gives us something to run with. That gives us a platform to go with. That's right. You know, a lot of people say of Obama, they say, oh, he's a black man and he don't dance. So this gives me the opportunity to go and say, I have motivation. I can go in front of other black people and say, we can do this too. Well, I disagree. I think he does dance. But the example is there, is that we have to take our victories. Yep. I don't consider Obama a victory for us, but if our artist takes the time, if one of the artists who's in the mainstream takes the time to mention Trayvon Martin or Romarley Graham or Kimani Gray, even if he never does it again, we need to play that song. Right. We need to say, what? Did you hear what he said in that song? A lot of us, we don't take our victories. Mm-hmm. We don't take the time to count the victories. We're too busy talking about the problem instead of taking the slight victories and holding them up and looking at them in the sunlight and celebrating that. Because that gives other people to see that we can celebrate. We can be victorious. We can be victorious, you know. So where we go from here? I think if we don't connect with each other in a real way, if we don't make real organization, like this was pulled together. This conference was pulled together, and I applaud it. Fantastic organizers, activists. I see Obi Ekbuda, DC's own here, who gave us his play. I don't even know which one you did today, but he gave us Cuba's greatest army. Cuba's greatest army. And what play did you present today? Maintaining resistance behind bars. Behind the bars. Like I'm talking about a play where he put the words together to use the kids, the children that were carrying on our message. Like if we don't see ourselves outside of the parameters that we're in right now, we're gonna lose it. We gotta make plays. We gotta be able to do more than conferences. We have to make the stage big enough and wide enough to encompass all of our needs. If we don't do that, then we're not doing the job. It can't just be for the choir anymore. Enough preaching to the choir. We've been here. We've been singing long enough. We've been singing. It's time to take that action in other places. Let's be creative. We got to be creative. You know, take it outside of panels that and this is nothing against the panels that happen here, but we got to take it outside of panels that are full with panelists who all agree with each other. Right. And it happens happens over and over again. I attend these things. And this is not a criticism of this. This is for our minds to ponder and say, this is how we're going to go better. This is how we're going to do it better. Because when you expose the problem to people, a lot of times people have to see the opposition. They have to see the contradiction. If you expose the contradiction, then people can go towards it. But if you don't, a lot of times we keep glancing over the same kind of thing over and over again, talking about it in the same old way. We become numb to it. We become numb to this conversation. We have to be able to expose it in a way that allows us to be more active, that allows us to be more engaged, because we're not. We're not engaged right now. We're not engaged. Where is our movement? I was talking to Rosa and she was saying, well, maybe after Obama we can start this movement again. And I said, why do we got to wait till after Obama? Why do we have to? And I believe that people are who believe that we are doing something progressive. I think there's a general understanding that the people who think we're doing something progressive won't see how non-progressive this is until we get something worse than what we have now. I don't want to wait until there's something worse than what we have now in order for us to make the moves that we have to make. I don't think we should do that. I don't think that's the strategy. I don't think that's the strategy at all. I think we got to start now. I think we got to think about what our leadership is not doing. Even if our leadership is doing a great job, we have to say, because we ain't free, and none of us knows the way to be free, none of us ain't got the answer, right? You got the answer to freedom? Well, I'm here to listen to you then. I'm here to listen to you. And I'm here to sign your petition after this. Real talk. Real talk. Because I'm a leader and a follower. And in order to be a leader, you have to know how to follow. Exactly. You got to be able to have done the roles, all the roles of this organizing that it took to build this stage, to sweep this floor, to cook the food, to organize the panels, to make the leaflets, in order to know how to make it all happen at one time. And I'm definitely here to learn how to do that. I want to be the organizer that put me in a place, and we can make, because with one of us, with one revolutionary, we work 100 of them. So you can drop one of us in a place, and you can expect us with the training that we can get out of this, the wealth of people and information we have here. We should be able to drop one of us in Sierra Leone and create a party that's going to be able to change Africa, the interior of Africa. Drop us in Baltimore and help us change the conditions that's happening in Baltimore. Drop us in New Orleans. Send us inside the prisons, so we can organize an inside prison movement. Because believe me, this is where the energy is going to come from. Brothers and sisters who got nothing to lose but our chance. Nothing to lose but our chance. In a song that I wrote called Sacrifice, I said, I said, Twyman Myers set him on fire. He was down with the BLA. He was 16 when he picked his team. His sacrifice was made. When I say sacrifice, I don't mean to do nothing stupid. Participation is the best education, said Huey Newton. Scared money don't make no money. That's what they say in the streets. And victory is so sweet versus the agony of defeat. I'd rather die on my knees than live as a coward up in these streets. And fuck dying. Let's stop dying. If you're with it, then let's get free. The youth brigade, ever so brave, never get led to the slaughter. The next to change the future, we the best of the sons and daughters. My back to the wind, my feet to the ground, I'm putting it down for my crown. But not the colony. Fuck them is my philosophy. That's what I'm about. I learned from the Palestinians and the Mexican EZLN. The government is down with imperialism, can't be your friend. They're bad boy politicians saying, show me the Benjamins. But I'm throwing the RPG into the end. Take your sacrifice. And that's really what I want to leave with you today. Look, you ain't got to be locked up to be in prison. Look how we live. 30,000 brothers a day locked in the bed, a deadly routine behind enemy lines. In Palestine, you have the biggest open-air prison in the world.
That's right. That's right.
So we can't even be talking about freeing ourselves only from behind walls and gates. We got to be talking about freeing ourselves from systems, from walls inside our minds, the borders, the false borders that we created inside our minds. This is the real walls we got to break down. Because as soon as we change our minds, it's over. I know a lot of people like, yeah, if we just get enough money, we can create enough, you know what I mean? We can, no, as soon as we change our mind, as soon as you change what you want to do, it's over. If you wake up and you don't create for capitalism, if you don't allow capitalism to flourish, if you don't buy their music, if you don't participate in their system, if you don't do what it requires for their world to continue to turn, it stops. I'm here to tell you, I've seen it. We're overseas a lot. I work internationally. I was in Greece when they reached their crisis. In Athens, Greece, I saw the people of Greece going inside their ancient ruins and their inside their museums and snatching the stuff off the wall and breaking the glass and taking the ruins and stuff out of the building. Why? Because the currency of Greece had become so useless that the only thing valuable was what the government had valued. So we're going to take this painting, and we're going to take this statue, and we're going to go home with it, because other than that, there was no use for money in the bank.
Right.
We see what happened in Cyprus recently, where for over 2 weeks, their government shut down everything. It wasn't even allowing any money to move. Do you think that's not going to happen here?
Wow.
And when they did allow them to have their own money, they said you can have $100 a day. I was in Germany watching this happen. This is about 2 weeks ago or more. And I watched it happen and I said, what if in the United States they took all of your money and said you could only have $100 every day? Or, like they did at the end of Cyprus, if you own more than a certain amount of money, we take all of that money and we donate that to our fund to rebuild this economy. I just want to say we're closer to this kind of life than you think. This is happening in Europe. This is happening in Spain. This is happening in Greece. This is happening in Cyprus. This is happening in Italy. The crisis of imperialism is everywhere. It's abounding. The crisis of imperialism is right now. This crisis of imperialism is happening in Boston. In Boston, what's happening is a crisis of imperialism. I don't want people to think this is incidental, personal things happening in our lives. This is a part of the crisis of imperialism. Because all along the way, this diversion allows them to pass regulation that takes more and more of your rights away while they're doing what they're doing. I mean, don't get me wrong, my hat and my condolences go out to people who lost family and lives and who are going through hardship, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But a lot of times we go around and we think to ourselves, I'm glad it's not me. Or I sure don't want to be the one that's in it when the time comes. I don't want to be the one. But let me tell you, somebody's going to be in that time. Somebody's going to face the time that you don't want to see. The time where there's a scarcity and a crisis that we have to live and react to. So let's not be reactionaries. Let's not be reactionaries. You know, in this time of imperialism's crisis, the worst thing you want to be is a reactionary. We want to be revolutionaries. We want to have the long view. We want to have the 5, the 10, the 20-year view. We want to see the system not only if it breaks down, when it breaks down. We want to see the long view outside of the system. Don't be reactionary and get caught up in today. and about what might happen tomorrow. You got to think about what's going to go on the day after tomorrow, and prepare yourself and ask yourself, where do you want to be? Some people have made a conscious decision. Oh, I side with the state. Some people say, oh, I know what side I'm on. You know, I want to be in. You know, it's so funny. I'll be in the barbershop and a young person will see me and they'll say, they'll recognize me as part of hip hop, and they'll recognize hip hop as a function of the Illuminati, and they'll ask me, hey, M, what can I do to be? How can I get in the Illuminati? This is a real conversation that I have in barbershops. I wouldn't waste your time with it, I promise. I find it silly too, but it's a real conversation. They say, how can I get in the Illuminati? What this says to me is that ideologically, imperialism is winning. That's what it's saying. Ideologically, imperialism is winning. Because it's saying, instead of taking down this broken, defeated old system that's talking about my mama and my sister in the most rough kind of way, that treat me like a dog, that don't allow me to have nothing, that doesn't see a real future for my kids, instead of tearing that system down, I want to join it. Yeah. I'd rather join it. Yeah. And so we got to change our paradigm. We have to change the perspective of what that means. We have to see victory. We have to empower what it means to be on this side. Not only do we got to make it cool. Cool is just one part of it. Just Siri makes it cool. We got to make it functional. Yep. We got to make it pay the bills. We got to make it functional. That's what's going to bring the ranks of us back to this side. That's what's going to make us say, oh yeah, that Obama thing didn't work. So maybe we need to have our own organization, and maybe we need to all have our own. We need to govern ourselves. What's the matter with governing ourselves? What's the matter with saying what our educational curriculums are?
Thank you.
What's the matter with it? Right. When they shut down all the elementary schools in Chicago, why don't we just have open air elementary schools around the world? We don't need their walls. We don't need their walls and their rooms. We can create it. The Black Panther Party showed us as a blueprint. They were right. They were just defeated. They were right. They weren't wrong. They were just defeated.
That's right. That's right.